Hello, new speed paint time. Today's subject matter is Android 18 sitting on a motorcycle. So this is kind of like a practice for me to paint vehicles because vehicles look really cool in art, but I'm really bad at hard surfaces and bikes and things like that. So this is like a practice. The bike is based off an existing Dragon Ball design, but I'm just kind of changing it. So I want it to look fantastical, but I am no good at coming up with vehicle ideas out of my head. So this is like the reference that I'm using, and Android 18 is just going to be sitting on the bike and holding a helmet. So here I'm just blocking out the basic shapes. The bike is kind of at an angle, so there is a bit of foreshortening and perspective stuff to do here. You can see there's some guidelines for the angle of the wheels, and it's absolutely not perfect, so I'm just sort of eyeballing it, and I'll adjust it a ton as I go along. So here I use a lot of the select tool with the lasso, and then I free transform things to get the proportions kind of correct looking. Here I'm doing her face, and I try to make her kind of look not as if like Toriyama drew her, but kind of have similar features to her that I don't normally draw with my own style. Like Android 18 has a big forehead, and her eyes are really elongated and pull up at the corners, and her hair is very angular. So I just tried to incorporate that in kind of blending it with my own art style. And with her costume, I just kind of made it like her classic costume, but with kind of like a racing jacket sort of a vibe. And yeah, so a lot of it is kind of eyeballing to make things look right in terms of the proportions. And for the sketching, I just use a round, taut, textured brush. It's very rough and really easy for sketching, and I only use this one brush to do the sketching stage. So I flip her a lot to make sure she just kind of looks correct, and I just select and move things around. I also did my motorcycle detailing off camera because I thought it was a little bit boring to watch, but basically it's just a simplified version of the mechanical details in my reference image. So I kind of wanted her to look kind of frowny and moody the way that she looks. Okay, so here I have blocked out in gray tones the different areas of the picture. So I have on a new layer done all the blocking in tones, and then I've added 2 layers on top called light and shadow. The light layer is set with an overlay blend mode, and the shadow layer is set with multiply. So from here I'm going to go into doing the shading, because I'm going to use gradient maps to color. So with the shading, I use a rectangular shaped chalk brush. I'm starting with the light layer, and then just in white, I just go ahead and block in the shadows. I should have said highlights. I'm blocking in the highlights. And so that layer at the bottom with all the blocking, I use the magic wand tool to select an area that I want to add a highlight in, and then on my light layer, I add in my highlights. So now I'm doing the same on the multiply shadow layer, just with a dark colored rectangular chalk brush, just blocking in the shadows. I don't go all the way in and go super fine with the details, just blocking it in for now, and I will add some refinements later on. Before adding the shadows, I also added some decals to the bike, just the capsule logo and the license plate as well. Same with on the skin and the clothing. I just like to do blocky kind of shadows at first before zooming in closer and doing refinements. Okay, so what I've done now is I have taken that blocked out layer, the light and the shadow layers, and merged them all together into a new layer. So I've duplicated it and I've got an all merged version, as well as my block out layer, which is layer 4 down there. So I will use it to select sections while doing gradient maps to this new combine layer. So here I've, for example, selecting the skin or the clothes and applying a gradient map. And I've explained in my previous videos, but a gradient map means that you apply a color to the darkest area and a different color to the lightest area, and the program will assign a smooth transition between the colors and any transition colors that you add in between. So you can add a lot of interesting color combinations in a very subtle and muted way, because I quite like muted colors. So I'm just going around and doing this for each of the sections. I've also colored in my sketch layer, so you'll see that this hair, for example, is like a mustardy color and the skin is like a dark brown. Here I've added a multiply layer and I'm just using a chalk brush to add some details to the skin. I'm also starting to go in and add decals, so this is just like a ring on the tires. Adding some wear and tear on these decals. And some wear and tear on the motorcycle. So here I went to add like a Dragon Ball decal, but I didn't really like it because it just didn't fit. So I did a lot of decal adding like off camera and then decided that I didn't like it. Here I'm adding on her jacket some detail. It says Lazuli, which is her English or human name. And those are like Krillin's dots. I thought it was cute to like put Krillin's dots on the motorcycle. Here I flipped the canvas and used the liquify tool to kind of just do some refinements to make things look right. I have combined the entire painting into one layer to do this, so you know, I'm pretty much happy with how it is. I just wanted to refine her proportions, and to me the motorcycle looked quite good, so I was okay to merge everything and call it there. And I added a star on her helmet because it's like a Dragon Ball, if that makes sense. And here is the final result. So I did a ton off camera, but it's mostly typography and texture details that I didn't think were that interesting to show in the video. But I played around with some colors that I thought would be complementary. I added like this MIR little detail on her jacket. And I added like a paper fold scrunchy kind of texture. That's just a real piece of paper, a photo of a scrumpled piece of paper, and applied with like a overlay blend mode, and then the opacity is really low to make it look like it's like an old poster. So I just added some little details that are like references to Capsule Corp and Dragon Ball Z to kind of make it look like she's like a model and she's advertising their latest motorcycle or something like that. Anyway, I just thought it was so cool. I wanted this to be kind of like a poster, and I got them printed and it looks so cool. This is like one of the coolest posters that I've ever made. Personally, I think it looks so cool. I really like vehicles in drawings. I just think they look so awesome. And yeah, let me know what you think. Did you think she's so cute? Do you like Android 18 and Dragon Ball? I do. I think it's cool. It's like very childhood to me. And yeah, so there you go. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my stuff, check out my website and my Instagram for other works in progresses and stuff like that. And I will see you in the next video.